Well, she's walking through the clouds with a circus mind that's running wild. Butterflies and zebras, moonbeams, fairy tales. That's all she ever thinks about, riding with the wind. When I'm sad, she comes to me with 1,000 smiles she gives to me free. It's alright, she says, it's alright. Take anything you want from me. Anything. If you want to play along with the recording of this song, you have to tune your guitar down 1/2 step to flats. This video, however, will be in standard tuning. The first thing to understand about this song is the structure. It has a chord progression which repeats 4 times. So the first time it plays with no vocals, and then you're going to do 2 different verses and with the same chord progression. And on each verse, you're doing different variations on these chords. And then the last time is the guitar solo, which is the same chord progression. So let's take a look at the chord progression. It starts off with an E minor, to a G, to an A minor, and back to E minor. And the E minor can be played here on the 7th fret, like an E minor 7th is often played. And then you go to a B minor, through a B flat major, to an A minor again, down to a G, to an F, to a C, and then to a D. And then that progression repeats with different variations. Let's look at how some of these chords are manipulated. It starts off with this G chord. You turn it into a 9th. And then you turn it into a G7 suspended 4th. And that kind of manipulation happens again in this song. There are other times when you're playing open G, and if you have to make your open G like this, using your 2nd finger here on the 6th string and your 3rd finger on the 2nd string. Because what that allows is for you to use your 1st finger and your pinky finger to play those notes. And then eventually you do a little slide here, and that's based off of that open G chord. I believe that's on the 2nd verse. When you get to the A minor, it's not like you make an A minor chord. You can just think of it as a bar of the 5th fret. And you're going to play notes here on the 7th fret, the 8th fret here on the 5th string, and the 9th fret here on the 4th string. So you can just think of it like that. And then the B chord, B minor chord, same thing. You can think of it like playing a reduced version of the B minor bar chord. Typically you put your finger here on the 9th fret of the 4th string and then play some high notes off that B minor chord. That's how you can think of that chord. Then you get to this E minor 7th shape, and sometimes you'll play the E minor 7th like this, but mostly you can play it just as a bar and then your 1st finger here on the 2nd string of the 8th fret. Because all you'll be doing is adding this 10th fret note and pulling it off on the E minor 7th chord. Another manipulation that happens is this G9 chord that appears. And what it is basically is a G root note, the 5th of the G chord, which is 2nd string 3rd fret, and then 5th string 1st fret. And then that gets slid up to the 5th fret and down to the 1st fret during the song. And you can also play a thumb note on that chord when needed. So that's the 9th chord. It's kind of a special chord, but it's built off of the G chord. If you take this G chord and just play those specific notes, you'll come up with that 9th chord. What I've done to divide up the song is I've broken each part into sections. The intro will have 2 sections, the first verse will have 2 sections, the second verse will have 2 sections, and then the solo will have 2 sections and then an outro section, which is short. I'll play each section slowly and then I'll show the tablature for the section. Here's section 1 of the intro played slowly. Here's the tablature for section 1 of the intro. The lines are the strings of the guitar, and the numbers on them are the frets that are played. Here's section 2 of the intro played slowly. Here's the tablature for section 2 of the intro. Here's section 1 of the first verse played slowly. Well, she's walking through the clouds with a circus mind that's running wild. Here's the tablature for section 1 of the first verse. Here's section 2 of the first verse played slowly. Butterflies and zebras and moonbeams and fairy tales. That's all she ever thinks about. Riding with the wind. Here's the tablature for section 2 of the first verse. Here's section 1 of the second verse played slowly. When I'm sad, she comes to me with 1,000 smiles she gives to me free. Here's the tablature for section 1 of the second verse. Here's section 2 of the second verse played slowly. It's alright, she said, it's alright. Take anything you want from me. Anything. Anything. Here's the tablature for section 2 of the second verse. Here's the guitar solo. section 1 of the solo played slowly. Here's the tablature for section 1 of the solo. Here's section 2 of the solo played slowly. Here's the tablature for section 2 of the solo. Here's the outro solo played slowly. Here's the tablature for the outro solo.